Hey guys, I'm Destiny, and this is Monday Mail number 9. Quick reminder, there's a link in the description of the video selling my Leroux shirt, this very shirt once more. I think it's on sale for like 6 more days, so this is your last reminder on YouTube to get it. If you want it, I'm going to go ahead and hop into the questions now. First one comes from MightyFlame, and his question is, do you ever regret choosing the name Destiny for your brand? If you could, would you change it, and what would you change it to? I don't know, regret is a pretty strong word. I guess it kind of sucks. The name itself kind of sucks because destiny is something that I inherently don't believe in. Like I don't necessarily believe in any form of predestination or, not to say that I don't believe in determinism or anything like that, but that's kind of a whole other thing. I don't like the concept of not being in control of what you can do or what you can become or whatever. So I guess it's kind of strange that as a name, Destiny is what I ended up settling on. Of course, when you're 12 years old, you're not really thinking of these things. So, and I'm pretty sure I was like 12 or 13 when I finally chose this as an online handle. Going back, if I could choose anything else, just because of the way that I market myself, my handle would probably end up being something like Steven or Bonnell, just because I think that associating the branding closely with your own personal identity, at least for me, is the most beneficial thing to do. Just because of how I market myself, because authenticity and all of that is a really central point to all of my branding. But I don't hate it. I mean, I guess you've always got the stripper memes or whatever, but I really don't mind. I guess as a name, like it kind of skirts the line of being like an okay online handle. Like it's not like John or Frank. Like it sounds pretty online-y, but it's also not like super edgy. Like my name could have been like, like Hanzo Blade, or like like Sephiroth the Destroyer, or like Shinigami, like it could have been some crazy shit like that. Thankfully it wasn't, because then I would have to spend the rest of my life being like, no, I'm really not that edgy. It's just the online name I chose on this 12. Instead I just have Destiny, which is whatever. So I guess it could be worse, it could be a little better, but I mean, all in all, I'm okay with it as a handle, I guess, and it works okay for branding and whatnot. So until Bungie made their fucking game. The worst part about my name is actually when Bungie decided to make a game called Destiny. That's a pretty big dick in the ass for SEO and everything. Hopefully their game dies out before I do. Hopefully there's not a Bungie expansion or some shit coming up and there's like they'll leave it and make another MMO, but I don't know. It looks like it's got some longevity left in it. The second question comes from therealovi. therealovi. I wonder if that's supposed to be like a ravioli thing. I don't know. And he said, are you worried that Nathan might get bullied because of his father's YouTube content later in school? This is just definitely something that could happen, but I don't even know how that kind of stuff would play out. Would kids think it's cool? Would kids make fun of him for it? Is he going to be a cool kid? Are people going to make fun of him? I'm not entirely sure. I really don't know. I try to limit the amount of time that Nathan spends on stream, even though he has been on stream a little bit. I'm trying not to go full, like sell my kid to my stream mode, just because I'm a little uncomfortable. If he grows up and people do make fun of him for it, it would suck that I contributed to that misery. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure. That's going to be like one of those bridges I'll cross when I come to it, just because there are so many variables in terms of how people could respond to it and how he'll respond to people responding to it, and even what his opinions are of it, right? Like Nathan right now is only 5 years old. He doesn't really have the faculty to consider all of the ramifications of your dad being involved in, doing online content. Like, can he even, how is he even going to think about that kind of stuff, like he's not old enough now to really have a well-developed opinion about it. So yeah, again, that's kind of that's just something that I'll kind of have to deal with as I get a little bit older, or as he gets older, I guess, as we both get older, since that's how that works, right? The last question comes from gamermvp. When was the last time or last 3 times you've had your opinion seriously changed on a topic, or when have you had to seriously challenge your own thinking, and can you expand on the process? I'm thinking something of more importance than flavor choices and more into morality or philosophy, but I'll leave it open-ended for better/best results. Typically, if I'm bringing... So, obviously, it sounds like, oh, no one ever changes their mind. Usually, if I'm dragging people onto my stream to have a conversation or discussion about something, it's usually because it's something that I feel very strongly about. Usually, if I feel very strongly about something, I've read into it, because you can't really get away with feeling strongly about a topic and being completely and totally fucking ignorant of the topic in front of thousands of people, because somebody will call you out on your bullshit and it'll look really bad. So, it's very rare that my opinion gets changed via a conversation from a rando that I pull on to TeamSpeak or Skype, from Twitter or from Stream Chat. That being said, I guess as of recently, the most recent examples I can think of, I used to be I think I still am pretty staunchly anti-abortion. just because of the moment you define like when a human is a human. But there was a guy that I talked to that had some pretty decent challenges for that I still don't have good answers for. I guess to summarize that argument, I'm not really okay with the idea of abortion because typically it really all comes down to when you define a person as being a human being, right? And for me, the easiest solution to that and the most consistent one, because consistency is something that I think is really important in morals and ethics, is defining a person as a person the moment they're conceived, right? And I couldn't find a good point past that point to define a person as a person, right? Like when they have a heartbeat, when they have their brain is some arbitrary level of functioning. Like, I don't know, that's really a difficult thing. So the easiest thing for me is, well, at the moment of conception, a person is a person, right? But then the flip side argument that I was presented to that is like, it had to do with let's say that somebody. So my argument then was the convenience of one person shouldn't overrule the life of another person, right? So just because somebody wants to abort somebody, because it would be more convenient for them, I don't think it's right that they can extinguish a life because they don't want to carry it to term. But then the counter argument that was brought up to that was, well, let's say that somebody's dying and they need a kidney. Well, you can give up a kidney pretty easily. It's kind of inconvenient, but it's not going to kill you. You can live with one kidney, and then. So should you be compelled to do that? And that's kind of a difficult question to answer, right? You get into like really strange utilitarian memes, into the like trolley problems. If you could kill one person to save 5 people, would you do it? If you could give up a kidney at a minor inconvenience to save another life, would you do it? And I don't really have a good answer to that. I don't really know. I don't know if there are right answers to that. Maybe I would need to flesh out my own personal philosophy more to have a concrete answer to that. But even the way that you phrase that question is like different. Like just thinking about like gut responses to things that are still heavily influenced by my personal morals. If somebody were to come up to me and say, "Hey, a stranger wants a kidney. Can you please give them the kidney or else they're going to die?" My gut response is instantly like, no, fuck that shit. Like, I'm not giving you a kidney just because you might die. Like, I guess it's kind of an inconvenience to me, but damn, dude, no, that's a fuck, right? That's like my gut response there. But I don't think I could like really justify that rationally. However, if I were to wake up in a hospital bed, a different way to present this problem, you wake up in a hospital bed and you're on dialysis, and if you disconnect yourself, you can walk away and be fine, but you'll kill a person that's connected to you. Would you say, would you disconnect yourself and walk away? Well, I don't think I could at that point. If somebody was connected to me via dialysis, I don't know if I could just say, fuck this shit, I want to get out of bed, and then disconnect myself and walk away and pretty much kill another person, right? Are you killing another person? I don't know. Does that even count as killing another person if they're relying on your body to live? Which is close to the abortion argument, right? I don't think I could pull the plug and walk away. However, if somebody walked up to me and said, "Hey, we need to put you on dialysis, with another person hooked up to your kidneys to save their life. Can you do this for us?" I don't think I would say yes to that either, right? I don't know if there are right or wrong answers here. A lot of this, and I don't even necessarily know if these are direct parallels to pregnancy, right? Because pregnancy usually involves some sort of choice, to have sex where you engage in some, oftentimes non-negligible amount of risk for pregnancy. So I don't even know if these are good comparisons. I don't know. The abortion thing is something that is something that I don't know if I'll ever come to like a conclusive answer. It's not usually since the beginning of my stream, I've never pushed my opinion on abortion very hard in any direction to an audience because I've never really felt super solid. I've always said like, I'm kind of pro-life, but I'm not really sure. And I usually don't get very preachy or argue a lot about that kind of stuff. Unless somebody really wants to try to change my opinion, then I'll defend my argument. But I'm never going to try to convince a bunch of people to believe what I believe because I don't know if I have like a really solid foundation on it. And much the same, I don't believe many people have a very solid foundation on it. I think that most people just look at abortion because it's a very convenient thing to do and a kid can fuck your life up, right? Obviously. So most people will choose it as like a backwards rationale, like, well, fuck, I need to have an abortion. I don't really care what the moral reasons are, and I'll believe anything as long as I get to do it, Some people are probably going to get irritated, but I believe that that's probably pretty true. But and then another example is I used to be very adamantly opposed to the massive amounts of unrestricted free trade around the world. Things like the TPP and NAFTA and whatnot are things that I kind of oppose because I don't like the massive exploitation of manufacturing in America, and I don't really like how it's impacted our low-skilled labor job markets. Somebody posted, they didn't do this via voice, but somebody posted a really big thread on my subreddit, and I got to have a very interesting discussion with that person about how harmful the effects of free trade have actually been on the American economy. And I find that the answer is a lot less clean cut than I thought it was. I don't know if my opinion has necessarily changed on it, but I do find a lot of people saying things like low cost manufacturing jobs would have always been threatened due to automation and whatnot. That there have been, increases in technology and revelations. There's a word I'm looking for, but I can't think of it right now. But there have always been these kinds of improvements in technology that would have led to the loss of these jobs, anyway. But free trade is just kind of the thing that it gets blamed on. I might link that thread if I can find it. I'll link that thread in the description. You can kind of read through it. I have a pretty interesting discussion with a guy. For some reason, he deleted his account. I'm not sure why. But yeah, those discussions were pretty interesting, and I think that my opinion is a lot less solid in that area. I'm not a big fuck free trade and fuck the TPP and fuck NAFTA, not as much as I was before, although I still don't like the way that we haven't protected low-cost manufacturing jobs. And I do feel like some people maybe make out a little bit better than others with those free trade memes, but yeah, I'm not as solid on it as I was before. But yeah, those are the 3 questions for today. I'll post the link to the thread in the description. You can go ahead and ask questions for next time. I love you guys. Remember to buy my shirt, and I will see you later. Peace out. Thanks for watching.